Hello fellow book lovers, my name is Giselle and welcome to The Adventures of Jiz. The reason why I said it like that is because today's video is recommendations based on my channel name. Now if you don't know what my channel name is, it is The Adventures of Jiz. Let's get started. First up we have tea. And for tea I chose The Infernal Devices because this series is absolutely fantastic. I have not read all of the books in the Shadowhunter world by Cassandra Clare, but from the ones that I have read, The Infernal Devices are the best books in the Shadowhunter world. Just my own opinion. My opinion is right. In this, we follow a girl called Tessa Gray, and she travels from America to London to find her missing brother. Now along the way she gets kidnapped and then she gets saved by two boys called Jem and Will, and they are both shadow hunters from the London Institute. Just to make the storyline even better, it is set in 18th century London. This is one of my favorite time periods. It is just so great. So great. This also has the best love triangle ever written. Next up we have H for Hunting Prince Dracula. This is the second book in a series called Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerry Maniscalco, and if you don't know anything about the series, the first book is called Stalking Jack the Ripper, and in it we follow a girl called Audrey Rose who basically tries to hunt down and figure out who Jack the Ripper is, because guess what? This one is also set in 18th century London. It is clearly a great time period to be writing about because I'm a fan. So the main character, Audrey Rose, is a very headstrong, determined woman in a time where headstrong women are silenced, and she is very, very determined to go and study forensic sciences. So what she does in the first book is she studies under her uncle, who works as one of the forensic investigators on the Jack the Ripper cases. Now this series is fantastic. I have not read the last book yet, which is Capturing the Devil. I haven't gotten a copy yet, but this series has just been so great. It has one of the best love interests ever. Oh my goodness, it is amazing. I love Audrey Rose. I know there are some people who don't like Audrey, but I personally do love her. She is a great main character. I love the setting. We follow amazing plots in each book. We have a lot of murders going on, and we have a lot of very scary, creepy moments and settings, and it lends itself to a fantastic and unique series. Next up we have E for Elisabeth from Sorcery of Thorns. Now if you didn't know this was one of my favorite books of last year. I have 3 favorite books and this was one of them, but the other 2 are on this list as well, so do not worry because they will be coming. In the story there are 5 great libraries that are basically in a circular shape, and they surround and are equal distance apart from this inner city. In this world there are sorcerers, and these sorcerers have magic that are given to them by making contracts with demons. These sorcerers also have grimoires, and these grimoires range from being very nice grimoires to being very vicious, and the vicious ones sometimes go on rampages and kill hundreds of people. So all the grimoires are kept in these libraries, and Elisabeth grows up in one of these libraries surrounded by these magical grimoires, and the librarians are basically there to keep the people safe from the grimoires. What happens at the beginning of the book is that one of the grimoires escape, and it looks like a conspiracy from inside the library, and Elisabeth is thought to be the reason why the grimoire escaped and why a lot of people died. So Elisabeth is basically on trial and is sent to the main city in this place. She is escorted to the city by the very handsome Nathaniel, and he has a fantastic demon called Silas. And as much as I love Elisabeth and Nathaniel and just the story in general, it is honestly Silas that made this book the amazing piece of art that it is, because that is just how amazing his character is. The writing in this is also absolutely stunning, and it is a standalone, so if you want something fantastically mind-blowingly brilliant and you want a single book that is like that, and you want some beautiful writing, and you want amazing world building, and you want just amazing characters, read this book because it is so worth it. Next up we have A, which is Ansel from Serpent Dove. Now, if you didn't know this, Ansel is a side character in Serpent Dove. He is amazing. The side characters in this are actually really fantastic. I love them. Coco and Ansel are fantastic side characters. In this we follow a witch called Lou and a witch hunter called Reed who are forced into marriage together. Lou is just a fantastic character. I absolutely adored her. She was really what made this book so fantastic. I really did love the dynamic between her and Reed. It's just this really funny, hilarious, sometimes awkward moments between them, and also a lot of drama. There is so much drama in this book. We have this setting where there is this genuinely evil witch who is trying to just kill everyone and take over the monarchy again. If you don't know this, this is set in a French-inspired 17th, 18th century inspired fantasy world. This book, the plot is fantastic. Towards the end, we have some of the most exciting moments. I was on the edge of my seat constantly. I really did love every single moment of this. The only thing that brought it down a little bit for me was the character of Reed, because Reed is not the kind of character I enjoy liking. He very much reminds me of two other characters that I very much despise, and as much as I did like Reed in the end, there were also moments where he reminded me so much of these other characters that I hate that it was really difficult for me to get around my hate for him. But I did in the end. So there were just a couple of moments where I was like, ugh. But other than those moments, it was a fantastic read. We have amazing side characters, and we have an amazing main character who is Lou, who is this badass, awesome, absolutely amazing chick who I loved from the first page I started reading about her. Next up we have D for a darker shade of magic. If you don't know anything about this book, we follow a character called Cull, and Cull has a very unique type of magic, and basically he is a traveler and he has the ability to travel between different alternate worlds of London. So he can travel between White London, Red London, Grey London, and there is one other London that has been closed off permanently because of how destructive the magic was, and that was Black London. There's another character in here called Lila Bard, and I absolutely adore her. Okay, I love her so much, but only towards the end of the book. There were moments at the beginning where I was like, damn, this girl, I do not like her. But then as the book progressed, I started loving her more and more for the very unique and sassy person she is, which is weird because I really love those kinds of characters, but I was already attached to Cull, and then she did something to Cull that I didn't like, so that is why I didn't like her when they first met. But that's okay, because she really does become a great part of the story. I know this is considered an adult fantasy, but it is easy enough to be reading if you normally read young adult, as I clearly do. But if you want some fantastic world building, some great characters, and just a lot of magic and intense drama, read A Darker Shade of Magic. Next up we have V, and for V I chose The Vanishing Stair, which is the second book in the Truly Devious series by Maureen Johnson. This is honestly such a fantastic series. I have not read the third and final book in the series yet, but these two books were just so great. I do think The Vanishing Stair was a definite 5 out of 5 stars. In this series we follow two different time periods. In modern day we follow a girl called Stevie Bell, and Stevie Bell is a genius who really wants to go to this school called Ellingham Academy. And the reason why she wants to go there, first of all, because it is a school for geniuses, and the other reason why Stevie wants to go to Ellingham Academy, because it is the setting for one of the most notorious cold cases in the Truly Devious world. And whilst we follow Stevie Bell as she goes to school at this place and starts unraveling both the old cold case of Ellingham Academy as well as some things that are just happening around her, like casual murders just going on at school. Whilst this is happening, we also have this dual perspective where we follow other characters from the 1930s when the cold case were going on. I have never read any crime, mystery, anything like that before, and when I picked these up I was not sure what was going to happen, and honestly it is so completely worth it to get into these books because they are fantastic books. I love the characters and the setting is eerie and creepy. It's amazing, and just the plot lines of these two books have been fantastic so far. The Vanishing Stair was absolutely brilliant, and it ended off on this amazing plot twist which was just great, and I cannot wait to get the hand on the wall and just finish this amazing series. E is for Erabor from The Hobbit. If you didn't know this, I really like The Hobbit. It's really good. So Erabor is the name of the Lonely Mountain, which is basically the end point of the adventure that they go on in the story. I am a big Tolkien fan, but it is very difficult to read a lot of his work because it is not an easy read, which is why I choose The Hobbit over Lord of the Rings. In this, we follow a character called Bilbo Baggins. Bilbo goes on an adventure with a wizard and a bunch of dwarves. These dwarves are going back to Erabor, which is the Lonely Mountain, to take back their home, which was taken over by a dragon called Smaug. If you like fantasy, I would definitely say give this a try because Tolkien just has this fantastic way of writing, and although Lord of the Rings is very tedious and very long to read, it is a lot to take in. The Hobbit, on the other hand, is quick, really fun, and just great read. I absolutely adore this book, and I don't speak about The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings enough to just show my love and appreciation for it. Next up we have N, which is for Nevernight, and it is by J. Kristoff, and it is fantastic. In Nevernight, we follow a girl called Mia, and Mia has basically been training to become an assassin since she was 13, and now that she is, I believe, either 16 or 17 in this book, she is going off to an assassin school to see if she actually makes it through assassin training. She has been working under this master, and he's been training her for years, but he trains her in order for her to be prepared when she goes to assassin school. This is also a new adult, so there are scenes in here that are not appropriate for the age category of the young adult people. They are still fantastic scenes though. This is just a fantastic book. It is not the easiest to read because it has quite a unique format where there are footnotes, which is where all the world building is done. And once you get used to it, you do get into the book, but it is quite difficult to get into that as well. If you want some fantasy and assassins and just badass characters and a lot of drama, because obviously it's assassin school, and this is just an amazing book to read. It's also got such a unique setting and the world is just amazing. Also, Mia is the best character ever. I absolutely adore her. Read this book. And T is for the Lunar Chronicles. The rest of the books are right over here if you can see them. And Cinder is the first book in this series. This series is a sci-fi retelling of several different fairy tales mashed up into one. So Cinder follows Cinderella, Scarlet follows Little Red Riding Hood, Tress follows Rapunzel, and Winter follows Snow White. These books are absolutely fantastic, and they obviously are all set in the same universe, and the characters meet up and split and kind of go off on their own way and come back together, and these are just such amazing characters and amazing books. I adored every second of this series. In Cinder, we follow a girl called Cinder. She lives in New Beijing, and basically one day the Prince Kai comes into her little store at the marketplace, and from there they kind of start running into each other often. But the problem is that Cinder over here is a cyborg, and cyborgs are seen as less than human. Now, as we progress with this series, Cinder is kind of the main plot driving point as we continue with the series, and they are such unique retellings and the settings are absolutely amazing. Like I said, it is sci-fi and there's a lot of travel between Earth and the moon because there is a colony on the moon which have kind of like evolved into these what they believe to be, they think they're all high and mighty magical human beings, and they think the humans down on Earth are like trash. So basically we have this travel between these places, we have amazing characters. This is just a fantastic series. Please read it. I am so happy I read it, and just do it. Do it.
Do it! Just do it!
And the U is for Euron Greyjoy from Game of Thrones. I could not find anything for you. I was struggling so hard. If you can think of anything with a U, like a character, a world name, a city name, a book name, an author name, anything, please let me know down in the comments below, because I struggled so hard to find anything with a U in it. Which is why Game of Thrones is here. Also because I loved it, but also because Euron Greyjoy was the only character or author or world name or anything with a U that I could think of. If you don't know what a Game of Thrones is about, where have you been living? because everybody knows what Game of Thrones is about. Okay, so I read this book years ago, straight after the first season came out. I binge read it within a week, which means that like I was reading as soon as I woke up, and I was reading until I went to sleep for a whole week to finish this book, which means that this took me so much longer than what I'm used to, but also it was so worth it because this book is amazing. So we follow characters from different perspectives, and some of my favorites are obviously Arya Stark because she is my favorite Game of Thrones character. I mean, like, hello, Arya Stark, she's badass. In this we just follow a bunch of perspectives, and some are more easy to read than others. Some I just kind of wanted to skip, but I didn't at Sansa's chapters. But these are some fantastic characters. It is very interesting, very intense, very intriguing, gory. It is adult, obviously. If you're used to reading young adult and you do want to try and read Game of Thrones, just know that it is going to take you a while to read. It is not as quick as a young adult book, obviously. So if you have never ever read Game of Thrones and you do feel like you want to, I would definitely suggest giving it a try because it is just a absolutely fantastic book. And for R, we are going with Rowling. J.K. Rowling, who writes all of the Harry Potter books. Now, this is at least one book I know I definitely don't need to explain. We follow a boy who goes to a magic school. I have loved the series since I picked it up. It was actually one of the first books I kind of got obsessed with, so that is why Harry Potter will always have a very close place in my heart, because as much as I did read, I wasn't obsessed with reading yet, and then I picked Harry Potter up. I just completely fell in love with this book and the series and the characters. They just have, all of them have a very special place in my heart. Next up we have E for Emberfall, which is the fantasy world setting that the Curse of Dark and Lonely series is set in. Remember earlier I mentioned that there were 3 books that were my favorites of 2019, and this is one of my other favorites of 2019, and Nevernight, which I forgot to say earlier. A Curse of Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kimmer is a brilliant series. I absolutely adore this. We follow a girl called Harper who lives in our world. I believe she lives in Washington DC, and what happens is that one day she sees this girl getting kidnapped and she runs to try and help. You know, she tries to like attack the attacker, and what happens is she accidentally gets dragged into this fantasy world of Emberfall. When she gets there, we meet the other main character, which is Prince Ren, and basically Prince Ren has been cursed and his land has been cursed. It is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but such a unique retelling that honestly, this series is so damn brilliant. Every single person should read it. I also received a copy of A Heart So Fierce and Broken last week by Jonathan Ball Publishers, and I just want to say thank you because I am so excited to read the second book. I have not read it yet because literally I got it on Friday, I believe. So I have the second book in my hand and I am so excited to read it because it ended off with so much drama and I just need to know what happens next. This series, everybody needs to read it. It is fantastic. If you are worried about it being a retelling and just same old story over and over again, it is not. Retellings honestly have this way of making everything unique and brilliant all on their own. And S is for my other favorite author, Sarah J Maas. Now, if you did not know this, I am trash for Maas because this woman knows how to write a good book. These are the first 2 books in her 2 series that I am completely obsessed with. I have not yet finished the Throne of Glass series. I have 1 book left, which is Kingdom of Ash. The same year I started reading Harry Potter, I started reading Throne of Glass, and it is just so close to my heart as well because these characters have been with me through a lot of things and through a couple of years of my life. They have been an anchor for me in the dark times. I'm being so dramatic. If you are a book lover, you should understand what I'm trying to say. I have reread the first 3 books in this series, I think about 4 times. I absolutely adore the main character. We follow a girl called Selena Sardothian. So she is a trained assassin who has been enslaved in these slave mines, and what happens is at the beginning of Throne of Glass, the Prince Dorian goes and basically takes Selena out of this slave camp so that she can be his champion in this game for a king's champion, which will basically a legal assassin. Selena goes up against, I think it is just a bunch of men, and I think straight from the beginning that really spoke to me. We have this very badass main character, and we have some amazing side characters as well. And I must say, whenever I read the first book, I'm like, there is so much that I did not see coming in this series. Whenever I think about the plot twists and the things that start happening in like, the third book is insane. The things that start happening in this series, you don't see them coming. You don't even know where they come from. They just come and they're like, guess what? We've been here the whole time and you didn't see me coming. It's just a fantastic experience to read this series, and it might be daunting for a lot of people, but what I would say is just go one book at a time. Read one book, give yourself a year, give yourself a couple of months, and then read the second one, and then give yourself a couple of months and read the third one. You don't need to binge read the entire 7-book series within a week. But if you want to, of course you can. But like I said, don't feel daunted by the length of the series, because here they are. Don't feel daunted by the length of the series. Rather just go ahead and start it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And the other Sarah J Maas book is A Court of Thorns and Roses. I should not have put these here because I can speak about these forever. So, A Court of Thorns and Roses is supposedly also a very loose Beauty and the Beast retelling. I don't see it past like it's okay, yeah, kind of, but not really. So in this, we follow one of the best fictional female main characters ever written, and her name is Feyre. Feyre and her 2 sisters and her father live in a small derelict cottage, and Feyre, even though she is the youngest, she is the one who is sent out every single day to go into these very scary woods and hunt for food every single day. Her family used to be rich before her dad made some questionable decisions and they lost absolutely everything. And for some reason, Feyre is the one who is forced to look after this family. Feyre and her sisters and her dad live south of the wall that separate humans and Fae kind, and what happens is that one day there is a Fae in the woods and Feyre actually ends up killing it, and in exchange for the Fae's life she has to go beyond the wall and basically live at one of these Fae courts to redeem herself for killing this Fae. This story is just, oh my goodness, I cannot even tell you how much I love it. The first book, it is so small, but so much happens in this book, and Feyre is just an amazing character because she is so realistic and I really connect to her as a character. She goes through a lot in the first book. There is just so much humanity in this book, even though there's tons of Fae, but the humanity is just so pure. And honestly, when I am feeling down and when I'm feeling a little bit depressed, I go and pick up these books because Feyre's strength of character just always gives me the strength I need to carry on. So this series is just so close to my heart because Feyre is my hero. I absolutely adore her, and I can't say much else about this series without just no, I can't say much else because I just love it so much. Read it. Just read it. Please read the series. Next up we have O, and O is for Oriana from The Cruel Prince. I know that's such an obscure character, but I couldn't find any other O and I really wanted The Cruel Prince to be on this list. So The Cruel Prince is absolutely amazing. We follow a girl called Jude Duarte, and when Jude and her 2 sisters were really young, they were just chilling at home and this evil Fae, I believe he's a red cap, Maddox, comes, kills their parents and kidnaps them and takes them to Fairyland. Now, when they are in Fairyland, Jude has just grown up cruel because everybody around her is so cruel to her because she is human, and humans are very looked down upon. They are the slaves of this world. They are very much not cared for. So Jude has fought her entire life to mean something in Fairyland. This series just ended up being it's quite political, but also just fantastic, and all the characters are so great because it doesn't matter how bad they are and how bad they become and the things that they do, because I will always forgive them. Because honestly, Holly Black does some amazing character building in this book, and honestly, the series is fantastic. The Wicked King was amazing, and the ending was just, I died. And then the Queen of Nothing was everything I wanted it to be. It didn't have as much drama as the previous two books. It had a lot of drama still, but these books are like drama filled from page 1. But Queen of Nothing didn't have as much drama. It had a lot of drama anyway, but it was the perfect, most satisfying ending I could have asked for in this amazing, amazing series. Next up, we have F for Frostbite, which is the second book in the Vampire Academy series. Now, a lot of people are very judgy when it comes to vampire books, but let me just tell you, I have read quite a few, not a lot, but quite a few, and these are the best vampire books I have ever read in my life. Vampire Academy is just fun and interesting, and it's just great. Then as we get to Frostbite, things start getting a little bit more serious. We meet some absolutely amazing side characters, oh my goodness, who even get their own books later on. We meet some amazing characters in Frostbite, and then it just carries on. Honestly, the series is so good, and I'm so sad that vampires are not in fashion anymore, because I just want to suggest that everybody read the series because it is so good. If you do feel like some paranormal, romancy, so much drama, if you feel like some vampires, if you want an amazing protagonist, an amazing main character, read these books. In it we follow Rose Hathaway, who is very sassy. She's so funny. I absolutely adore her. It just gets better with each book. I thought Vampire Academy was good until I read Frostbite, and I thought Frostbite was good until I read the next book, and that just kept on happening. And by the time you get to the last book, you're like, I don't know how we got here, but I am so impressed because this is an amazing story. The synopsis is basically Rose Hathaway is a guardian for one of the royal vampires called Lissa, and Lissa is her best friend, and they have this special soul connection where Rose Hathaway can basically see into Lissa's current state of mind. Vampires in this world are basically normal humans who just drink a little bit of blood and have magic, but there are also the bad vampires, which are called Strigoi, who go around killing everyone and everything. And the Strigoi are the main antagonists in this story. If you ever just want something a little bit dramery and just something you will enjoy, and you like vampires, please read Vampire Academy. It is amazing. I feel like I have been speaking for so long, but I'm almost finished because we are on G, which is for Garber. Now, Stephanie Garber wrote this series called Caraval. I only have the first two books in the series, but I absolutely adore this. I read Caraval at the beginning of last year, and I read Legendary at the beginning of this year, and wow, Legendary was fantastic. It is amazing. It was my first 5-star read of the year. She knows how to keep a really good secret and reveal it at the right time. She has also just got this fantastic style of writing, which is, it's not dreamy and it's not overly descriptive, but it's still beautiful to read. In Caraval, we follow a girl called Scarlet, and Scarlet and her sister have grown up with this horrible, horrible father, and they are basically all that each other have. Scarlet has always wanted to go to this magical circus carnival thing called Caraval, and one day she gets tickets to go to this place. It is so good. This first book was intense. I actually felt like I was Scarlet. And Legendary, oh my goodness, Legendary was so good. I am in love with the series. I need to get finale as soon as possible because I am obsessed. Next we have I, which is for Inej from Six of Crows. If you don't know anything about Six of Crows, Six of Crows is a duology set in the same world as the Shadow and Bone trilogy. And in Six of Crows, we have a group of outcasts who are basically brought together by the leader, Casbreaker. I am in love with a fictional character called Casbreaker, and this is where he comes from, and you should read this book. Not just for him, because he is amazing, but also because every other character in here is fantastic. The plot is amazing. It might be a little bit slow at the beginning, but as soon as things start picking up, they really pick up. It is amazing. Kaz and his crew go on a heist to the Ice Court, which is supposedly unpenetrable. It is like one of the deadliest places to try and break into, and that is exactly what they do. They break into the deadliest place to break into. What a great idea. As you can imagine, things do not always go as they wanted to, and this book was just so good, and the ending was so insane. I might have screamed a couple of times at the end of this book. These are some of the best characters ever. They are absolutely amazing if you love good characters and great plot twists, but it's all for the characters. Read Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. And last, but certainly not least, we have Zed, and that is Zelie from Children of Blood and Bone. Now, Zelie is the main character in this book and in the series, and I absolutely love this. In this, we follow Zelie, who has magic in a world where magic is absolutely hated by everyone, and she is basically considered to be the lowest of the low of human beings in this world, and she goes on a little bit of an adventure or quest with one of the princesses, Princess Amora, and they just go through so much. It's an epic adventure story, and it's a little bit dark, quite dark actually, but the adventure, the story, everything is just so worth it in this book. I am actually going to be rereading this on audiobook probably this week. If you like magic, fantasy, dark settings, really amazing world building, amazing characters, definitely give Children of Blood and Bone a try. If you made it to the end of this video, congratulations. That was a long one, but I am so happy I filmed it because these are just some books I just want everyone to read. If there are some books here that you love as well, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and have a fantastic day. And some of my favorites are